phone tapping, attempts to topple government. It all impacted on the 2023 polls. Will it impact on the 2024 polls?
I don't think it's impacted. In fact, it's made it better. Our performance, not that we formed the government. पहले चुनाव लड़के हम हारते थे तो 20-21 पे रह जाते थे या 55-50 पे. इस बार हम 70 जीत कर आए हैं.
लेकिन जब सीएम बनना था तो किसी और को बनाया.
In politics, you have to be ambitious. If you have no desire, no drive, no ambition, then what will you do? That lady का आपने नाम लिया, मिस खेड़ा का.
भूपेश बघेल जी और सचिन पायलट जी कार्रवाई होने नहीं दे रहे.
वो मंदिर गई हैं, but absolute desperation of people to either seek attention or to find reasons to quit one political party. You should be honest कि भाई मेरा मन नहीं लगा, मैं छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ.
इस इलेक्शन में बीजेपी दक्षिण में साफ और उत्तर में हाफ.
What goes up must come down. राजस्थान का, छत्तीसगढ़ का, दोनों states में we'll probably get more seats in the BJP. I'm not doing this fear mongering that some of people in BJP allege कि ये संविधान को बदलने के बाद एक propaganda है. It is the people of the BJP, leaders of the BJP who have said this openly on public platforms.
उनके कुछ hot heads ने कहा था.
Hot heads क्या होते हैं? वो elected MP है, candidate है, वो तो पार्टी
नहीं, कैंडिडेट नहीं है ना. They didn't become
बहुत सारे
candidate.
लोग
उनको
हैं.
टिकट नहीं मिले.
नहीं, बट ऐसा है कि ये चर्चा कहीं तो हुई होगी ना किसी के पास में.
आपको INB देना चाहिए. एक सेंटेंस नहीं आप इधर से उधर बताते.
मैं 1 घंटे से आप जो पूछ रहे हैं हर जवाब दे रहा हूँ मैं सवाल का.
वेरी वेरी पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट. ओ सो
नहीं तो आपने कहा काबिलियत तो आप मौका देके देखिए, पता पड़ेगा.
Let's take a moment to thank our friends at Sugar Free Green for sponsoring this podcast. In a world where the impacts of sugar consumption on health are being increasingly scrutinized, Sugar Free Green offers a safe alternative. Made from 100% natural stevia leaves, it provides a guilt-free way to sweeten your day. Thank you once again to Sugar Free Green for sponsoring this podcast. Now let's begin the podcast. Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the ANR podcast with Smita Prakash. My guest today is Sachin Pilot of the Congress Party. He was Deputy Chief Minister of the state of Rajasthan. He was also in Dr. Manmohan Singh's cabinet, and he's a second-generation politician. His father was the much-loved leader in Rajasthan, Rajesh Pilot. Sachin Pilot is one of the few young leaders in top rung of the Congress leadership who did not quit the party despite provocation and also rumours that he had had enough. Sachin ji, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. Despite your busy schedule, you found time to come here. And at last I have you on the podcast. So very glad you've come. Polling ended in Rajasthan before that. Then you went off to Chhattisgarh. You've addressed rallies and meetings from Kerala to Kanyakumari. Third round of polling, where do you see the Congress right now?
Well, the first 2 rounds, the indication that we've received is that the candidates of the Congress Party and the India Alliance are doing far better than the NDA. So I think the first 2 rounds have indicated that there is a palpable sense of a change that people want. And that's a groundswell of response we have received from across the country. So I'm quite confident. I think the first 2 phases were quite good for the Congress and the India Alliance. And third phase also, I think will go off nicely.
So you've campaigned for the India Alliance or have you campaigned only for the Congress so far?
Both. Wherever there are candidates where we feel jointly, for example, Rajasthan, there are 2-3 seats we gave to the alliance partners. So campaigned there. But also you get a sense when you travel. So there are some of our allies in southern India that we've campaigned for. But generally, I think the voters have, without making it very obvious, I think the sense that I'm getting is that they are looking to have a change. There is now quite a solid sort of move that we've had 10 years and we've had a government that has failed to perform according to what we feel. And they want to have now a change in the political landscape of the country.
Okay, so you said there's a quiet move. You've mentioned this before in some interviews. It's this silent voter that many people are banking on. The BJP says it's like in West Bengal, it's chup chap kamal chap. And the Congress says in many other states where the Congress is in power, where the BJP is in power, it's chup chap haath chap.
No, it's difficult to say. Obviously, everybody will say that the low voting is in their favor. However, the EC has revised the numbers quite dramatically after like 8 or 9 days, which again is a very questionable decision. I don't know how that's panned out. And also, I think the EC should come out very clearly about the number of votes. We've got a percentage after a week or 8 days of a 5-6% increase in the total votes polled. That's surprising, given that when we had paper ballots, it used to take 24 hours to get exact number of votes polled. Today with EVMs, we're taking 7-8 days to correct the numbers to 6%. That's a huge number for a Lok Sabha election. But to answer your question, it's not about me saying we're winning and BJP saying they're winning. I think generally the local anti-incumbency of the members of parliament of the BJP and NDA is quite high. I see that in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh more specifically. And wherever there is a bipolar contest, in 2019, whenever there was a head-to-head Congress-BJP, we didn't do well. But this time, there is a certain surge amongst the Congress workers. Congress candidates are doing much better. And the response in the meetings and the whole atmosphere seems to be much more positive this time.
Okay, let's start with Rajasthan, your home state. The track record of landslide victories that BJP has had in the past few elections. How do you see your party vis-a-vis the BJP? The BJP seems to say that it's going to be landslide. The Modi wave has not got hit at all. How do you see it?
It's only natural, Smitaji. What goes up must come down, number one. Second, I think 10 years of getting all Lok Sabha MPs elected twice, and the people vote with a lot of expectation. When you give a clean sweep, expectations become much higher. Now we've had 25 Lok Sabha MPs for 2 terms in Delhi from Rajasthan. And I think the Rajasthan as a state has got nothing substantial from those MPs or the government of India. There have been no special schemes, any extra privilege provided to the state of Rajasthan or any other large projects. Besides that, the same MPs for 10 years, some of them have been changed. And there are lots of pulls and pressures within the organization because of a new government that was formed 4 months ago. So Rajasthan, certainly, I think we didn't open an account last time. But this time, I think we will actually get more seats in the BJP out of 25. Our alliance partners in the Congress will do better than the BJP in Rajasthan.
Neither you nor Gehlotji stood for election. This time you concentrated on campaigning for them. It's been a bitter relationship for quite some time, fraught with a lot of tensions, phone tapping, attempts to topple government, which he denies, which he alleges, you deny. It all impacted on the 2023 polls. Will it impact on the 2024 polls?
Let me take you back in history. When you say impacted, in the elections before this, out of 200 seats, when we were last in government, we got 21 out of 200 seats. We formed the government and the election happened, we got 52 seats. And this time, we are 71 MLAs out of 200. So I don't think it's impacted. In fact, it's made it better. Our performance, not that we formed the government, but जब पहले चुनाव लड़के हम हारते थे तो 20-21 पे रह जाते थे या 55-50 पे. इस बार हम 70 जीत कर आए हैं. So that's one. But nevertheless, we didn't form the government. And our collective objective was, despite whatever you may say or some other media people may say, we all collectively fought to win that election. For 30 years, हम चुनाव जीतते हैं, फिर हार जाते थे. And this time we really wanted to form a government again. And I think it's most disappointing that in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, both states, we were not able to form the government. People expected us to form the government. हम नहीं बना पाए, बहुत सारे कारण हो सकते हैं. But आपने कहा ना कि because of whatever so quote unquote bitterness, there's no bitterness in politics. It is about achieving the objective from different. I mean, I have a different way of approaching things. You may have a different way of approaching things. But the end objective is to form the government. वो हम लोग नहीं कर पाए. But since 4 months, there's been a new government, and I don't think it's left a mark with the people of Rajasthan. In 4 महीने में, people have felt that बहुत ज़्यादा कर दिया, and they need to now balance the political landscape, like I said earlier. So there is a certain change. Our candidates are much better Rajasthan mein. We all campaigned very hard, and I think Rajasthan is one of those states where we will do maximum sort of increase in our tally.
You say that there is no bitterness, but just a month ago, Mr. Gehlot's former OSD made this claim that the Chief Minister had asked him to tap your phone and then to release audio tape in which, like, you were trying to topple the government. There is this...
You keep saying this again, Smita ji. Netrutva parivartan or satta parivartan, they're two different things. I must not get confused. Yes, we had some issues where we felt that to win back the election in Rajasthan, we must do something different. हम वही काम करेंगे, वही परिणाम आएंगे. Something different must be done to change people's perception that we will not repeat ourselves. And there were some important issues which I thought were important. And those issues were brought up to the party. And I'm very glad that Mr. Kharge, Rahul ji, Priyanka ji, Sonia Gandhi ji all decided to do some course correction just before the elections. And I think that helped us. I give you those numbers. We are 72, 71 MLAs today as opposed to 20 or 50. So we did increase, but we weren't able to make the cut and repeat the government. But the vote share difference was, I think, 1 or 2% only between Congress and BJP. So that now some statement by some individual or something. ये सब चलता है politics में. People keep saying, alleging things. There's no end to it.
But
the
there
hard
was.
fact is that we fought and we tried hard. We came close but didn't win.
But there was, I mean, everybody knows for a fact that people were going from here to there, and there was such strong rumors that आप पार्टी से निकल रहे हैं, और फिर प्रियंका गांधी ने या किसी ने तो आपको persuade किया कि आप ना जाएं पार्टी से.
ये जो भी हुआ सबके सामने हुआ ना. There was nothing that was not being hidden, right? So ultimately the Congress party formed a committee to look into the issues that I had raised. Not me, many of our colleagues raised. And once those issues were formally taken up by the committee, there was a change in the Council of Ministers. People were made chairmen, boards, corporations in the party structure. So we did some course correction. Having said that, I think the Congress party also sent observers to Rajasthan at one point to have a meeting of the MLAs, September 25th, 2023. That meeting didn't take place, unfortunately.
They couldn't even meet with people.
I know. So that, I mean, it's never happened before.
Yeah.
A Congress legislative party meeting ही नहीं हो पाई थी. So Kharge Sahab and Ajay Maken ji had gone as observers.
Yeah.
So the meeting didn't take place, unfortunately. And then a lot of things happened after that, which I don't want to go into. But we don't know what the meeting would have ended up. उसमें क्या result निकल कर आता. But अच्छा होता अगर meeting हो जाती एक बार. That meeting would have really, I think, set the tone for the upcoming Rajasthan elections.
This is what happens with Rajasthan. I've noticed it often that inactivity, inaction, बस रहने दो, अपने आप ही सुलझ जाएगा. You know, and it's not probably not just Rajasthan, in many places.
That's not fair because
अपने आप ही हो
नहीं,
जाएगा
आप
ठीक.
गलत बोल रहे हो. राजस्थान के अंदर when I took up the issue, which I thought were people's issues, there were some corruption issues, there were some paper leaks issues.
Yeah.
The party did take action. They formed a committee. We looked into how to course correct. For example, in Rajasthan Council of Ministers, there was no Dalit minister for a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I thought that's not correct because the number of SCs who had won on a Congress ticket was far higher. In fact, the previous term, we had 0 Dalit MLAs. This time, a lot of MLAs got elected from the Dalit community, and I wanted someone from the community to become a minister in the cabinet. बाद में उसको किया. So party at the highest levels did intervene. I mean, there was a committee formed, there were changes in the government, Mr. Makan was in charge of the state at that time. And उसके बाद भी the AICC did send 2 observers to talk to the MLAs and do whatever was instructed to them. वो meeting ही नहीं हो पाई अलग बात है. And that's very unfortunate, but you know, no point getting into it now.
I want to get into the news of the day. During election season, look, it's like I keep saying Hriday Parivartan. सुबह से लेके शाम तक there's migration happening from one party to the other, which happens every season, but election season, but here it seems to be happening all the more. But there's one which your name has cropped up, in which Radhika Khera held a press conference, and she said she was victimized because she went to the Ayodhya Ram Temple. And then she was in Chhattisgarh, and since you were in charge, the first port of call that she made was calling you up, but she couldn't get through to you. And after that, she did various.
I know what happened in Chhattisgarh. Now, the fact is, if somebody wants to change parties, they have to find some reason to give. Whether it's a visit to the temple or in communication with somebody else or putting blame on somebody, इंसान कुछ तो बोल के करेगा ही. I mean, you have to find a reason. But good luck to anybody who wants to shift parties at any stage. I think it's up to their individual decisions. As a party, I think we are fighting an election for a much larger purpose, not about individual satisfaction and grouses and issues and whatever it may be. I think time will tell. But this election is far bigger than one individual, one candidate, or even one party. This election is important in so many different ways. And I say this because this election is now really a choice of the voters to choose between what has already been going on and if they need to course correct. This election is about having the strength of our democracy go deeper and stronger as opposed to getting weakened. The constitutional bodies in our country, are they as strong as they were? Are they as transparent? Are they as robust as they were 15, 20 years ago? That's a call people have to take. And it's very important, and I say this in all my speeches also, just having the right to vote does not define democracy. If you look at our neighborhood, votes are cast in Russia and in Pakistan and Bangladesh. But no one in the world says that democracy is so strong in those countries. Why is it strong in this country? Is because there is a counterbalance, there is a strong opposition, there is a robust media. It should be like that. And the constitutional bodies that we've got for 70 years have been nurtured to become strong, to become credible, to become transparent. And their existence is a large ingredient for a healthy democracy. And I think there are some compromises being made in the strength, in the working, in the transparency and the credibility of some of these very important institutions. And the people of India have to realize it's not about one winning or one losing. It's about having a check and balance.
This I get a couple of months before elections, but during elections, it all becomes these emotive issues, which, like for example, you did a couple of TV interviews and all that, maybe a couple of months back. Those were those larger issues. When you actually get down to it, everybody's in the trenches now, and it's become caste and communal. It's become caste and religious lines.
Look, every politician who wants to win elections will say things that suit him or
Yeah.
her. But as an electorate, we must take a step back and remove the clutter and the noise and see what are we doing? What are we voting for? Have we given someone a chance? Have we given people 5, 10 years to do what they should have done? Are we satisfied fully with what they've done? If yes, vote them again. But to have 2 chief ministers in jail today, to have the bank accounts of the Congress party being frozen, to have 147 MPs being suspended in one day, are those all healthy signs? That's the call the voter has to take. Yes, there will be, emotive issues, there'll be religious issues, caste, creed, etc. आपने जो बोला वो होगा. But I think the Indian voter is wise, and I have full faith in the collective wisdom of all our electorate.
You've also campaigned along with Priyanka Gandhi. Her speeches are getting extremely, I won't say aggressive, but I would say that persuasive. And very strong emotional aspects she brings in. She talks about bringing her father's body in pieces, and she talks about her mother's sacrifice. You're seeing all this happening. You have a good working relationship with her, or with
So first of all,
Rahul Gandhi?
whatever Priyanka Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi ji say, it is nothing but facts.
Of course, I mean,
right? Yes,
yeah.
but I'm saying when you allege on a family things that are unfounded, things that have no bearing of truth whatsoever, I think one is within their right to at least ask the people to recollect the facts of history and to what really transpired, to make baseless allegations, to victimize someone time and again, use the brute force of the government and the media to singularly attack a family or individual, beyond a point, I think becomes unpalatable. And the party and the family or any individual, whether it's me or you, we have the right to defend and fight back. And you said aggressive, yes, we should be aggressive. We have to be aggressive. And nothing wrong in it.
No, absolutely.
But you must understand, every word that they've used, every language, every comment is not beyond dignity. They have never used language or tone and tenor that is unbecoming of a senior person.
For her, I would say that till now I haven't heard, but for Rahul Gandhi, I wouldn't say that.
But I'm saying
There
it.
has
I've
been- yeah, sure,
heard
you
things.
would.
I've heard people in the opposition say things about
Yeah,
Mr.
okay,
Gandhi and
comparatively,
family. Yes.
yeah.
So we have to be relative about comparisons
Relative,
also,
yeah,
right?
okay.
So we have to balance it, and I feel that this election, it's not just mainly about BJP winning or Congress winning. It's about what sort of a system we want to have in this country. Okay. And I'm not doing this fear mongering that some of the people in BJP allege कि ये संविधान को बदलने की बात propaganda है. It is the people of the BJP, leaders of the BJP who have said this openly on public platforms. That is why मैं बोलता हूँ बार बार, why बड़े जो नेता भाजपा के हैं, उनको ज़रूरत क्या पड़ी आके ये खंडन करने की? ये टू से कि हमने ऐसा नहीं करने वाले हैं.
क्योंकि उनके कुछ हॉट हेड्स ने कहा था.
हॉट हेड्स क्या होते हैं? वो इलेक्टेड एमपी है, कैंडिडेट है, वो तो पार्टी
नहीं, कैंडिडेट नहीं है ना. They didn't become
बहुत सारे
candidate.
लोग
उनको
हैं.
टिकट नहीं मिले.
नहीं, बट ऐसा है कि ये चर्चा कहीं तो हुई होगी ना किसी के पास में. अच्छा, let me ask you a simple question.
हाँ.
Rajiv Gandhi ji as Prime Minister had 400 plus MPs. Did he ever have to come out and defend and say, I will not touch the constitution or I will not change reservations? Did Manmohan Singh ji ever say that? What is the need for the BJP today to squarely deny what is being propagated?
Yeah, okay. So this is like chicken and egg situation. Where did it start from? Whether it was a hothead from BJP who said it, and then Rahul Gandhi picks it up, and then the Congress and Jairam Ramesh picks it up and says, look, they are changing the
Achha, there are hotheads in every party, na? So when Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister...
When Sam Pitroda says ki, it's time to talk about wealth redistribution, the BJP picks that up. Now, you can say that he holds no post in the Congress, so you ignore that. Both ways it works, right?
मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि बार बार मंच पे खड़े होके बीजेपी के सबसे टॉप नेताओं को खंडन करने की नौबत क्यों आ रही है? इफ देयर वाज सच अ नॉन इशू, नॉट अनइम्पॉर्टेंट, जस्ट gossip and fear mongering, why would they have to come and outright defend their stand and reiterate these things?
So they are doing it. The Congress is doing it. The BJP is doing it. But your speeches, you talk about Agniveer, economy, inflation, farmers, jobs. In your speeches, there's no Sanatan. There is no caste. You don't talk about the Sanatan.
Why should you?
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that I'm just making a value judgment.
Right.
That unlike your peers from all parties, you are staying clear of it. I mean, if I was to compare it with, say, Udaynidhi's talent, if I was to compare it with Priyank or even Mallikarjun ji, compare it with anybody else, they all talk about these issues, but you are not talking about it in your speeches at all. Or even the wealth distribution thing, you don't talk about it. You're talking about local issues. Is it a conscious decision which you have taken कि I'm going to not get into the...
देखो, हर इंसान का अलग नजरिया काम करने का, स्मिता जी। मेरा व्यू बड़ा क्लियर है। मैं किसकी पूजा करता हूँ, किस में मेरी आस्था है, मैं कब व्रत रखता हूँ, किसके भजन गाता हूँ, किसकी आरती उतारता हूँ, नहीं करता हूँ, ये मेरा निजी मामला है। इट इज रिलीजन इज अ मैटर ऑफ द होम एंड द हार्ट, राइट? द कंट्री एंड सिस्टम्स वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। संविधान में जो लिखा है, यू हैव टू कीप रिलीजन एंड स्टेट सेपरेट, राइट? One can be religious, one can be spiritual, one can be devout, one can choose to do whatever he or she wants. But that should not interfere, influence, or affect the functioning of the state. When I say the state, means the government of the day. That should be run purely by provisions of the Constitution. That is the most sacred granth of our country.
That's not
Let me finish. I'm trying to say that if I believe that आपने दैट लेडी का आपने नाम लिया, मिस खेड़ा का, कि वो मंदिर गई हैं, बट यू नो दिस इज जस्ट एब्सोल्यूट desperation of people to either seek attention or to find reasons to quit one political party. You should be honest कि भाई मेरा मन नहीं लगा, मैं छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ. Why find things that have no consequence? So अगर आप शासन चला रहे हैं, सरकार चला रहे हैं, आपको न्याय देना है, like a judge, judiciary, you know, when you sit on the judge's chair, it doesn't matter. Man, woman, gender, race, religion, caste, you follow the rule, you follow the book and follow the law. That's how government should run. It should be agnostic to your religious affiliations. In my speeches, I focus on what I think is important for the people of my country, which is, yes, we must create wealth, but it must be for everybody. An affirmative action, an agenda to help people who are not in the mainstream should be the agenda for all parties. The competition should be, Smita ji, which political party can serve us better, which can get the poorest amongst us in a little bit share of that wealth. I think as an agrarian economy, so people are not talking about the farms, the MSP, the distress that farmers are facing. To me, that's far more important than believing whether that statement and that Sanatan statement. And by the way, if anyone makes a statement that hurts the sentiments of a fellow citizen, how can you agree with that statement? Whoever he or she may be. आपने जो नाम लिए, no matter which party you belong to, but if you're making a statement with a deliberate intent to hurt the sentiments of somebody else, how can that be, especially when you're in an important position? That shouldn't be acceptable.
See, you have never played the caste or communal card in your career. I haven't, at least whatever I have observed. You come from a particular caste, but I have not seen you talking or... social engineering is part of politics, but I don't see you as a caste leader, even though you are belonging to a particular caste, and that is quite a dominant caste in your state. But you don't play that. But for expat audiences and for those who are not very political in their thinking and they are watching this episode, here's a short primer. There's a political legacy to which Sachin Pilot comes from. Sachin Pilot's father, Rajeshwar Prasad Biduri, was a self-made politician with humble beginnings. He lived in the outhouse of a posh bungalow in New Delhi in 1970s, selling milk to the rich and famous. But the ambitious Rajesh Biduri wanted more from life. He joined the Indian Air Force and was a war veteran before he quit the Air Force and joined politics after a chance meeting with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Biduri dropped his last name and gave himself the name Rajesh Pilot. He was also in Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's cabinet. There was a time when Rajesh Pilot was part of the group that closed ranks with a group of rebels who wanted to contest Congress presidential polls against Sonia Gandhi. That rebellion was stillborn. A short political career ended when Rajesh Pilot passed away in a car crash. Young Sachin Pilot was catapulted into politics. Unlike his father, Sachin has had a posh upbringing. St. Stephen's for undergraduate studies, an MBA from Wharton, and then politics when in 20s. In fact, he was the youngest member of parliament. Sachin is also the first Union Minister of India to be commissioned as an officer in the Territorial Army. Just wanted to give a little backgrounder for people who may not have followed your career path. So, I followed your dad's career path. I'm following your career path now. It's a political legacy which started probably as an inherited legacy, but you have carved your own path. And your dad was kind of ambitious and he had just a 15-year lifespan in politics before he passed away. Yours has been an evolved one, but you have stuck to a different kind of politics, even when there were pulls and pressures. Do you think that you lost out because of that?
Two things. One, you rightly mentioned that everyone in this country is born into a caste or religion, and that really is not in our hands. Where we are born, what religion, what community I'll get raised up is not in my hands. But what is in our hands is that once you grow up, once you mature and you understand, then your attitude, your words, your actions, your working, your personality, that's in our control. You can't blame, I was born like this, that's why I'm like that, right? So, and you're right, in this country, social engineering, caste calculations are all part of electoral politics, fair. But when you have 2.5 million people voting for one member of parliament, it really just can't be about that. And it's not possible for anyone to come from a large or a small caste and then, go to the highest post. In fact, top leaders in this country, some of them are not from very dominant castes.
Yeah.
Manmohan Singh ji was from minority community, became the Prime Minister of India. So there's destiny. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you are able to display a certain type of politics because you believe in it, and if you don't have the convictions or the principles to follow what you believe in your core, then you will falter at some point. And you can pretend to be somebody 5 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day. But 24 hours a day, ultimately, your true self comes out. And just one small correction, you talked about my late father. My father actually contested the election for Congress president, but against Mr. Sitaram Kesri. So Mr. Sharad Pawar, my father, and Mr. Kesri. And my father at that time was told that, this election incumbent has a huge advantage. Very difficult to beat incumbent.
Whereas Jitendra Prasad was against Sonia Gandhi.
So after that election in 1998, my father passed away in year 2000. And I think 2001 or 2002 was when Jitendra Prasad ji fought against Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. So that's election. But I think my father fought the election to prove a point that, in a healthy democracy, you have to, take the plunge and take the bull by the horns.
The reason I put that in, clubbed it together, was one, shortage of time. And the second is Praful Patel, who came on the show, said that there used to be these informal meetings which used to be held.
I heard what Praful Patel said. So Praful Patel also has just recently jumped parties, right? So obviously his recollection of history will be a bit more nuanced now to suit the new narrative.
But I've also covered it as a reporter.
What I'm saying is at that time when Mr. Kesri was Congress president, there were lots of groupings happening. And I'm telling you today, I told my father, मैंने कहा आप लड़ रहे हो केसी जी के खिलाफ, it's not an easy election to win and incumbents always favor. So it doesn't matter. I'm making a point. And once the elections were conducted and Mr. Kesri was elected, my father welcomed the verdict and, started working with Mr. Kesri.
But these backroom meetings used to happen in Jitendra Prasad ji's house and in various other places. Anyway, that's like long, long gone. But I want to come, because we are talking about Jitendra Prasad ji, your dad, and several others, I have to come to that famous photograph of all of you, the second generation, the one that went viral with Scindia, Jitin Prasada, Milind Deora, RPN Singh and you. And
I was waiting, मैंने कत्ती देर हो गई आपने अपनी आवाज पूछा नहीं अभी तक आपने. So that might be the first one.
But it's such a cute photograph. How can you not? I mean, everybody talks about it. So you're the only one who was left behind now in the Congress from that grouping.
ऐसा नहीं है. Look, one thing I'll say. You may be born into a family, but I lost my father, I was 22 years old. And 4 years later is when I fought my first election. it's different when you have a person in the house to handhold, to guide and to do this. At a very young age, at 22, when I lost my father, it was never a forced decision on me to fight election, legacy. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. I was only 22. 4-5 साल के बाद, when I realized that I have my own calling, I have my own destiny. And
You were sent abroad, right?
No, I was anyway studying in the US that time. I was doing my master's program, and I was 1 year to go, and that's when my father met with the accident. But it was a well thought out decision. It wasn't that, घर में tragedy हो गई, अब क्या करना है, someone has to take responsibility. No, my mother was already in politics before that. But I'm saying that I took a conscious decision, and when you enter public life without the support and the stable hand of a parent, it's easy to be in, when you say this, आजकल बड़ा चलता है, dynastic politics बहुत चलती है. I think it's much more applicable when the person is there to see you through.
No, RPN also lost. He was in college.
Yes.
In that photograph, RPN lost. He was in college.
Yes.
And there was, Jitin also was in college.
The point I'm trying to make is that I think you should categorize. So there are many people.
And their mothers were also in politics.
I'm saying there are many people outside the Congress which also fit the exact dynasty tag that you're talking about.
No, dynasty नहीं कह रही. मैं
तो
कह रही हूँ
मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, आपने
You are already preempting कि मैं अगला question क्या पूछूंगी. I'm just talking about that photo
I know.
कि आप रह गए.
ऐसी बात नहीं है. देखो, ऐसा हर इंसान का अपना निर्णय होता है. And whatever anyone may decide, time will tell and the people will tell whether that decision is right or wrong. It's
No,
everyone's
but
choice to
did
make.
that group of photograph, all of you were considered the boy gang, the boy band next to Rahul Gandhi. You know, this group which were all second generation. And let me come to now the dynasty part which you preempted. That you were all there with him and he relied on you for that camaraderie which was there in Parliament, which was there in the corridors of power. All of you were seen around him. And then slowly everybody has left and you're the only one left standing there.
कितने आपका भेदभाव वाली बात है. हमारी
क्यों?
पार्टी से कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह, गुलाम नबी आज़ाद, अशोक चौहान, इतने सारे चले गए बुजुर्ग नेता. उनकी चर्चा चिंता आपको नहीं है.
वो तो सोनिया जी के साथ है ना, नटवर सिंह वगैरह.
But like I said, there are good times and bad times. People choose what ideology, what political path they want to follow. It's an individual decision. ऐसा नहीं कि सब बैठ के चर्चा करते हैं क्या करना है. हर एक का परिस्थिति होती है.
तो वो आपको फोन करके नहीं बोलते like didn't Milind call you up and say कि आ जाओ हमारे साथ?
Personally, I know people in all parties. But my politics, my worldview and what I believe in is with me. It's my decision, it's my choice. And no one forces anyone to leave or to stay back, by the way. कोई कुछ भी कहे, ना तो कोई मजबूर करता है, ना कोई रोकता है. आपका मन की बात है. If you feel more comfortable in a different ecosystem, so be it. But time will tell जो निर्णय लिए हैं कि सही है गलत है. I'm doing what I want to do, and for last 22 years now, 23 years, I have done whatever the parties asked me to do in every which, whether government, party, state, center. इलेक्शन लड़ना है, नहीं लड़ना है, प्रचार करना है. एंड आई एम क्वाइट हैप्पी. वंस आई एम टोल्ड व्हाट टू डू, आई डू इट विद फुल डिलिजेंस. अब मैं को प्रभार दिया, छत्तीसगढ़ का दिया है. आप पहले बात कर रहे थे, वहाँ 11 सीट्स हैं. वी आर ओनली 2. When we had a government in the state, we got only 2 seats. This time we are not in government. But I can share with you with full humility that we will do much better than that. Because we all worked hard in that state. Because जिम्मेदारी दी है मेरे को, I have to deliver, right, for the party.
जिम्मेदारी तो आपको राजस्थान की भी दी गई थी. You fought बड़ी शिद्दत से, लेकिन जब सीएम बनना था तो किसी और को बनाया.
वो निर्णय पार्टी का था. That time, can I also say, that decision in 2018 was also taken in consultation. मेरे से बात करके किया था. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे से बिना बात करके किया था. But there were certain other conditionalities that changed very quickly.
Tragic hero all the time, huh?
नहीं, हीरो की क्या बात है.
Always the bridegroom, never the groom.
ऐसा है स्मिता जी, किस्मत में जो लिखा है उसे कुछ छीन नहीं सकता.
अच्छा, मैं किस्मत
और जो नहीं लिखा उसे को दे नहीं सकता.
किस्मत की बात है. मैंने उड़ते उड़ते रूमर सुना है कि पता नहीं
कौन रूमर सुनाता है आपको उड़ते उड़ते.
आई गेस बाल ऐसे ही नहीं सफेद हुए जर्नलिज्म में. इट्स दैट आई हैव हर्ड दैट देयर इज दिस एस्ट्रोलॉजर्स हु हैव बीन सेइंग कि पायलट फैमिली से एक प्रधानमंत्री जरूर बनना था, वो नहीं बने तो आप बनेंगे.
आप पता नहीं किन की बातें सुनती रहती हो. मेरे जो दादाजी थे, ग्रैंडफादर थे, वो फौज में हवलदार थे. बहुत जल्दी उनकी मौत हो गई. मेरे फादर एयरफोर्स में ऑफिसर बन गए. बाय चांस राजनीति में आ गए और अच्छा उनका करियर रहा. 20 साल में उन्होंने अपने लिए एक नाम कमाया. और जब मुझे मौका मिला तो मैंने कोशिश की कि मैं उस नाम को अगर बढ़ा नहीं सकता तो घटाना नहीं है मेरे को. दैट्स ऑल आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू. एंड इफ़ यू आर एबल टू क्रिएट एन इम्प्रेशन, leave a mark in people's hearts and mind, that's, I think, far bigger than post positions. And I think in politics you have to be ambitious. If you have no desire, no drive, no ambition, then what will you do? But it should not overtake everything else. राइट. सो एंड लाइफ इज सो लॉन्ग, कब क्या हो किसी को पता नहीं
So
है.
then-
बट मेरे को तो बताऊँ आपको, मेरे को जब जो काम दिया जाता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने राजस्थान की बात करी, आई वॉज द लॉन्गेस्ट, जब मैं अध्यक्ष बना था कांग्रेस पार्टी का 2013 दिसंबर में शायद, वी वर रिड्यूस टू 21 MLAs आउट ऑफ 200. और नई नई सरकार वसुंधरा जी की बनी थी, प्रधानमंत्री बन गए मोदी जी, हम सब चुनाव हार गए थे. उस टाइम लोगों ने कहा साहब 10 साल तक कांग्रेस अब नहीं आने वाली है, सुपड़ा साफ हो गया है, कुछ नहीं बचा, नथिंग इज. आप पता नहीं सचिन जी को यहाँ जल्दी पे, हाँ उस टाइम लोग बोलते थे
he's a Delhi boy.
नहीं, नॉट डेली. उन्हें सचिन पायलट को अध्यक्ष बना के उसकी भ्रूण हत्या कर दिया. मतलब एट 32, 33 पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट बना दिया, कुछ होने वाला है नहीं. मैंने फिर गाड़ी निकाली, मेरी PCC की गाड़ी थी, नाइस फोर्ड एंडेवर हमारे पास ही गाड़ी, उसको फिर मैं लेके घूमा और मैं 5, 6, 7 लाख किलोमीटर चल चल के लोगों को मैंने जोड़ा, और अकेले नहीं किया, उसको साथ लेके किया. बट आई एम सेइंग, जब मुझे काम दिया जाता है फिर मैं
डेरा डाल दिया आपने वहाँ पे.
5 साल के बाद हम सरकार बनाई हम लोगों ने, एंड यू नो हमारी सरकार रही. अनफॉर्चुनेटली जाके मैंने कहा रिपीट नहीं कर पाए, बट मोर अनदर डे देखते आगे क्या होता है.
But this is what is said, that it's your characteristic, that you just work hard, but when it is that point where you have to take the plunge, to be assertive and take that decision and force the decision, you just step back. That hesitation is there in
not
you.
everybody is privy to everything, right? So all of your assumptions and your judgment calls are based on what you know. Perhaps there are things
Yeah,
that you don't know,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm in a situation where I know a little bit more.
We are seeing the results only. Back room हमको क्या
हाँ
पता?
हाँ, तो वही तो कर. तो रिजल्ट में बुरे क्या है भाई, आप बताइए मेरे को. पार्टी ने, मैं सांसद, विधायक, प्रदेश अध्यक्ष, केंद्र मंत्री, उप मुख्यमंत्री. I mean, in 23 years, it's not a bad thing to have gotten all this from the party, right?
Now you're talking like the spokesperson who
No.
used to tell us कि when we used to say कि भाई क्यों नहीं बना रहे सचिन पायलट को मुख्यमंत्री, तो we used to get this कि सचिन पायलट को इतना सब कुछ तो मिला है, तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Why can't he wait for his time in the sun?
ऐसा है.
हाँ.
That I don't know what the official spokesperson has said, but what I'm saying to you, I deeply mean it. And today I'm the general secretary of the party. So it is not that. And अच्छा, ताली दुआ से बजती है. अगर मैं भी सारे पद लेके बैठा रहूं और कुछ काम ही ना करूं पार्टी के लिए, then how long will that last? I've also worked, performed, delivered, and effectively, if I might add, with some humility. So it's a two-way thing, right? When I'm doing things, party recognizes that and gives me an opportunity and a platform. And today we are in opposition. So I think now is the time to close ranks and forget about, you know, छोटा मोटा किसने क्या बोला क्या नहीं बोला. You know, think आपने जिक्र किया जो राजस्थान में मेरे, I was involved in a sedition case while I was deputy chief minister and party president in my own government. That's a little difficult to bear, right? So I had to speak out and say, well, this is not acceptable. And then, you know, things got things landed up where they were, and then we had to really work hard to, you know, put them back together. But I think all happened at the right time. We had 2.5 years left for the government, and we worked together after that.
You are repeatedly saying this thing about इस इलेक्शन में बीजेपी दक्षिण में साफ और उत्तर में हाफ. Is this a survey that you people have done, or is it the sense you get by going on the ground?
बीजेपी कह रही है 400 पार. उनका सर्वे है या उनका सेंस ऑफ द ग्राउंड है?
पता नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ आपके पार्टी का.
भाई मेरा विश्वास मुझे है, क्योंकि मैंने देश का दौरा किया है, एंड दक्षिण भारत में कितनी भी रैली आप कर लीजिए, कितना पैसा लगा लीजिए, लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक द बीजेपी इज गोइंग टू गेट अ फुट होल्ड इन सदर्न इंडिया एट ऑल. एंड नॉर्थ में बिकॉज दे हैव मैक्सिमाइज्ड देयर नंबर ऑफ सीट्स इन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द स्टेट्स, राइट. एंड मैं शुरू में आपको कहा व्हाट गोज अप मस्ट कम डाउन. तो संभव नहीं है कि वो दोबारा उतने सीट जीत पाएँ. और जो मेरे 2 स्टेट्स का मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, मैंने बहुत विस्तृत दौरा किया है, राजस्थान का, छत्तीसगढ़ का. दोनों स्टेट्स में we'll probably get more seats in the BJP.
More seats
than the BJP.
Which are those states now?
Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan.
In these 2 states, you're going to get more than the BJP.
Because we got 0 in
That is the
Rajasthan.
Hindi heartland. Yeah.
Right, but I think what's also equally important, if not more, is states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, etc. Because that's the states with the much larger number of seats. So that's where the India Alliance partners and the Congress has to pull up our numbers.
Okay. You know, I want to come back to this issue of you not wanting to play the caste card. You insist that that the voters have matured and it's not important. But what is happening is that increasingly, after the second round, that's the only thing that is being talked about: caste and religion. What do you think is the reason why this has happened?
Who's talking about it?
Both the parties. एक
Okay,
तरफ
नहीं,
की
नहीं, सुनो. नेता भाषण दे रहे हैं, अखबार छाप रहे हैं. It doesn't mean that's what the voters care about. Okay, because I will say things as a candidate what might suit me, but I'm saying people actually they may have affiliations to a certain caste because they have close relations, but ultimately every electorate wants a good MLA MP and a good government and want progress for everybody. So they will take that decision in the larger context. Yes, caste combinations play a certain role, but it's not paramount. It's not pivotal to the final outcome. So in a small election, yes, but in a large election like Lok Sabha, इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
पर फर्क तो आई मीन यू सेइंग इट्स नेता बोल रहे हैं छाप रहे हैं. अब नेता जो बोलेंगे वही तो मीडिया छापेगी ना.
पर आपने कहा ना लोग चर्चा करें, लोगों में इतना मुझे लगता नहीं है कि
अब अगर इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा देन व्हाई इज इट दैट राहुल गांधी जस्ट येस्टरडे अ वीडियो हैज कम इन व्हिच ही टॉक्स अबाउट द SATs and he says that the SATs were formulated, were made by white Americans, and hence white Americans were getting admission into campuses. If it was not important, then he would have talked to them about jobs, na?
No, again, jobs are important. You know why? Because jobs, maybe there's discrepancies. Now, I'll take 2 minutes to explain this to you. Talking about a general backwardness of people and the constitution in our country, reservation, Smita ji, is not a poverty alleviation program. It says in the constitution, reservation should be given to socially and educationally backward sections of people. Right? So it is thousands of years of having biases and having ingrained in our psyche that the caste system is actually working negatively for the betterment of the full society. तो उसमें अगर लोगों को आरक्षण संविधान में दिया हुआ है, इट्स प्रोविजन इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन 343 आर्टिकल में लिखा है. सो दैट्स अ लीगल गारंटी फॉर पीपल टू गेट पार्टिसिपेशन इन जॉब्स इन एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस, नथिंग रॉन्ग इन इट. आई मेक द फॉलोइंग पॉइंट. If somebody belongs to the reserved category of people, let's say scheduled tribe, scheduled caste, whatever, he or she gets into good college, good school, good education, and his or her children then are getting the same privileges of a good public school education and good tuitions, good systems. They should voluntarily say, "Bhai, hum log ab isko use nahi karenge," because somebody from my community will then have a chance to use that, right? That's a no, hang on.
Yeah,
it's important. We have to get to that point, right?
Yeah, we have to get to the point.
Yes.
Right.
So, affirmative action is important. In America, में अलग system because it's racial. Here it's caste, and I think it's important for everyone to feel that a part of India grows and a chunk of it gets left behind. We can't have this inequality. बहुत बढ़ गई. I think this gap between rich and poor and villages and cities is becoming very large. So to curb that gap, government has to intervene. And there's nothing wrong in following what a constitution says, that to give underprivileged people who are in the fringes of our society, to bring them to the mainstream, give them some assistance, some helping hand, some openings to enter good workplaces and good education institutions. There's nothing wrong in that at all.
See, you belong to an OBC caste. You were born into an OBC caste. Now, the BJP says that the reservation for Muslims, particularly Muslims, जो मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कहा था, minorities, particularly Muslims, and then it follows from that the reservations will be taken out from that quota, and that means that the OBCs will get hit the most. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, yes, but the OBCs, because उस caste quota में जितना भी है, they will. So while the Congress party positions itself as a friend of the OBC, because if you see the India Alliance, whether it is with the RJD, with the Samajwadi Party, it is not really a friend, because with this Muslim quota that they are talking about, minority quota, is going to come out of that. As an OBC...
Who's saying Muslim quota? In the Congress manifesto, there is no mention of any reservation based on religion. It's not in a constitution. It can't be done in the central level, okay? One. Second, even in Sikhs and Jains, and not Jains, but other communities, they're OBCs, right?
Yeah.
In Muslim community, in Gujarat, there's 70 communities which are part of OBCs, but they belong to the Muslim religion. So I don't think it's a contradiction at all. And ये जो propaganda some BJP leaders are talking about कि आपका मंगलसूत्र छीन के दे देंगे, आपकी एक भैंस छीन लेंगे, आपका आरक्षण छीन लेंगे. I mean, it's reverse fear mongering, because they feel that they have to defend their own stand. That's why they're making the allegations. Our manifesto is crystal clear in black and white, Hindi and English. There's no mention of any religious-based reservations at the central level. It's not possible because संविधान में लिखा ही नहीं हुआ. तो उसको बार-बार बोलकर just to, I think, create some sort of fear in some communities, it's being done. There's and truth has its own legs. There is nothing extra that I'm saying.
Constitution में there is no well, it's a complicated thing. If I get into that, it becomes
but Congress ने कब कहा है ऐसा, बताओ मेरे को.
See what Chidambaram ji, see, one is a manifesto, The other is the interpretation of the manifesto. This,
No, there's
both
only
ways.
manifesto.
Both
There is no
ways,
inter-
because
it's in black and white.
because
There's no interpretation. It's only one interpretation.
Chidambaram ji, who's the chairman of the manifesto
what has
committee,
he said?
so he said that minorities don't see minorities as just Muslims; they are a linguistic minority also. So, which means, which he explained in great detail, which means a Bengali going to Maharashtra becomes a minority. He explained this on Rajdeep show that a Bengali who goes from Bengal to Maharashtra becomes a linguistic minority. So then that begs the question, if it's a linguistic minority, so can he get from that same quota? What is the explanation? Because he wasn't being flippant when he explained this in detail. So now there are interpretation
I think we are
and
splitting
interpretation.
here. I can tell you the Congress Party's manifesto, there is no word, there's no mention, there's no question on reservations being based on religion.
But है ना, आंध्र प्रदेश में कब से चला आ रहा है 4%, and then Gujarat में भी है, which you yourself are saying that Gujarat has 70% of.
That's for OBC.
70.
That's OBC. If
caste.
someone
हाँ.
belongs, if somebody is
That's
getting.
why I asked you, because you're an OBC
अरे
person.
भाई
ना?
किसी को OBC का आरक्षण मिल रहा है और वो हिंदू है, सिख है, मुसलमान है, that's a different issue. But OBC is a caste, it's not religion, right? So OBC को तो मिल रहा है.
हाँ, तो नहीं, पर उसी में से अगर अभी कहाँ से लेके आएंगे? There's a 50% कट, 50% से ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो सकता.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का वर्डिक्ट आ चुका है.
हाँ.
If you have tangible data, empirical evidence to prove the number of people are beyond 50%. All I'm saying is that in some states, the Supreme Court has allowed provisionally for the cap to be removed above 50%. And I feel as Congress Party, if the population of the Dalits and tribals is so large that they need a little bit more space, I think we should be open
because
to that
you
idea.
yourself said that that there was a time when you said that there should be Dalit representation in the cabinet,
Yes.
and you that was one of the affirmative actions which you have initiated. Insofar as this kind of affirmative action is concerned, as somebody from an OBC community, would you feel all right to increase the Muslim quota in reservations?
There is no Muslim quota reservation. In the government, we've had 10-year government. When was any step taken to have reservation based on religion?
Yeah, so it hasn't been
It
taken.
hasn't happened.
But
And it won't be taken. It's the BJP propaganda which somehow has come into our conversation that we are doing reservation based on religion. No. Dalits, tribals, OBCs, people who are on the fringes of our society, if they need constitutional help and support and to be back in the mainstream, वो करना चाहिए. धर्म के आधार पे तो आरक्षण की बात कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तो कभी करी नहीं है.
Okay, towards the end of the conversation, I just want to ask you, what was the logic behind Rahul Gandhi not standing in Amethi and Jairam Ramesh saying that Priyanka Gandhi तो बाईपोल से भी लड़ सकती हैं? क्या फर्क
It's
पड़ता
a
है?
party strategy. उसमें लॉजिक की क्या बात है? It's our decision. So the party and the cadre.
My prerogative to ask you about it.
No, but
right?
you're saying that what is the
Logic.
Logic. हाँ. So
Yeah.
what logic do you want?
Why
me to-
couldn't both of them stand
If
from?
the party and Mrs. Gandhi, who was the former MP of Raebareli, and the party workers and the cadres wanted Rahulji to contest from Raebareli because they've been fighting from there for like 40, 50 years, he's chosen to stand from there. There's nothing wrong in it. Mr. Modi fought from 2 seats last time. Many leaders fight from 2 seats all the time. And Congress is a national party. अगर एक साउथ और एक नॉर्थ से हम लड़ते हैं, उसमें किसी को आपत्ति क्यों हो सकती है?
आपत्ति
And ultimate judge is the people, ना? They will get to know जब 4 जून को मतगणना होगी.
The objection or the shock was not that he was not fighting from Amethi. Fine, fight from Raebareli. But why didn't Priyanka fight then from Amethi? Why leave it to a family loyalist?
नहीं, but how can you? प्रियंका जी को लड़ना होगा तो लड़ेंगे वो. उनको नहीं लड़ना तो नहीं लड़ेंगे वो. बट टू फाइंड थिंग्स एंड लॉजिक क्या है, रैशनल क्या है, क्यों क्या हम आप ऐसे तो नहीं पूछते बीजेपी में कितने लोग राज्यसभा में गए, कितने लोकसभा से लड़ रहे हैं. वाई
सब
किससे पूछा आपने?
जब जयशंकर और when Piyush Goyal is fighting or when Nirmala Sitharaman not fighting, people asked her and she said I can't afford it, which was also a very odd comment. But she did say that.
I think Priyanka ji is campaigning rigorously across the country, and Mrs. Gandhi, of course, is not so much active anymore. And we need people to campaign across the country because Congress party, whether it's Northeast or Kerala or Kashmir or Gujarat, campaigns everywhere. We have candidates everywhere. So this time it was decided by the party, and Mr. Kharge and the CC decided that Rahul ji will contest from Raebareli instead of Mrs. Gandhi, and Kishori Sharma will contest from Amethi.
Hasn't she got a calling as yet, inner calling to fight an election? I mean, how old were you when you fought an election? 20 what?
It was the party's decision and my decision. Both have to coincide. And I don't know what they will decide in the future, but for now, she's campaigning, and she'll have to probably campaign a little bit more because now Rahulji is the candidate from Raebareli. So there's more work to be done.
Is it true that everybody advised that? I mean, if Ahmed Patel was there, I would have asked him, but I'm asking you.
Please don't compare.
Is it true that somebody said within a very senior person?
It's the same person who जो आपको rumor सुनाता रहता है, वही same person.
नहीं, वो तो कब के गुजर गए बेचारे. तो that 3 persons from the Gandhi family should not be in parliament at the same time.
You can derive conjecture on anything. It was not decided earlier because that time there was no thinking, and the elections in 7 phases में है. And UP के चुनाव आए, and they all sat down, CEC sat down, who's the best candidate to fight, who can win, and who will actually help the alliance also in Uttar Pradesh. And that time, party and Mr. Kharge decided that Mr. Gandhi is the best candidate and he'll fight. And Rahulji has said 2 months ago, whatever the party decides, he's willing to do it. So he's fighting this election, and he'll win by a record margin.
Did you intervene, or did you suggest, or did you advise Priyanka ji? Because everybody knows that.
If I did or didn't do, why would I share it with you? Because I'm a member of the working committee, and I speak my mind in the committee. I speak one-to-one with everyone that I wish to speak to, and I give my view very candidly on all sorts of
How democratic is that?
Very. I must tell you, I have full liberty and freedom to say what I want on every issue, and I feel a lot better if I've conveyed my opinions to everybody, Mr. Kharge, Mrs. Gandhi, Rahul ji, or Priyanka ji, because that's my job. And sometimes it may not be the most popular opinion, but I give it because I think it's important for me to
Is it
say
held against you when you don't
Not
speak?
at all.
No?
Not at all. If it was, I'd stop doing it, no? Anybody
you?
Of course. It's because I feel that I have a certain sense. It may be right or wrong, but I have a sense. And I'd be not doing my job if I don't convey that to the leadership.
Because
बाकी निर्णय उनको करना है for whatever reason, whether this my state or anywhere in the country or whatever political issues that are happening. I tell my view in the best way that I can, because that's the feedback I've received. And if I don't share that feedback, then that's wrong on my part. I do that, I use my own mind, I convey. But collectively what the party decides finally is the party stand, and we all stand by that.
You talk about speaking openly in these forums. The Prime Minister last year said that you were being punished. You were being punished at that stage for what your dad did, and they couldn't punish your dad, so they're punishing you.
So Prime Minister, of course, he's a shrewd politician, and he makes all these statements just to suit his political party's advantage, and it didn't work because, like I said earlier, truth has its own legs. So he may have said that just to rile up, a certain section of people, but it didn't work because that's not true. I have gotten enough from the party, and I'm saying this with a lot of authority, that the Congress party has given me the platform, the opportunity, and the support to do what I'm doing right now. And it's only gotten stronger and better. So what he said, I remember he said that in Rajasthan, just before, on the eve of the polls, just to create some murmurs, etc. But that's not true. My father, of course, was a member of the working committee. He was a minister. I've gone beyond that. I'm now general secretary of the party. And I've got a lot of freedom to work. And a lot of faith has been, given to me to work with.
So do the others who left, I come back to the photograph, the others who left, and then subsequently so many have left your party, do they call you and do they make that overtures ki bhai aap bhi aa jao?
It's not a child's play. So
it's a big decision, of course.
No, not that. But
even for them, they're second generation, some of them third generation.
I understand that, but that's their individual decisions. It does not reflect what I think and what I feel. Right? It's my decision. And you're absolutely wrong. No one has ever said that to me. And because they know, जिस गाँव जाना नहीं है वहाँ का रास्ता क्यों पूछें?
Okay. So in conclusion, I want to ask you about you being a third generation Fauji. Why did you join the Territorial Army? What was it that you wanted to, and how has it changed your life?
I was in school, and as you know, my last name is a very uncommon name. And a lot of my schoolmates, and I went to an Air Force school. So
Bal Bharti.
Bal Bharti, हाँ. So I was called pilot. So a lot of my friends used to make fun of me that you can't ride a motorcycle, and why the hell you called a pilot? So I thought I have to do something about it.
The most cruel thing is young boys in school.
Yes, and they don't hold back.
Yeah.
So I felt I must justify my last name. So I went and got myself a private pilot's license so that I'm a pilot in word and in deed. I felt better about myself. I got that. That was just a personal thing. But then when I grew up and I was in active public life, so my grandfather was in the army, my father was in the Air Force, and I was 35, 36 when I thought, time's now going by very quickly. I must do something to, and I just wanted to wear the olive uniform. It's something I wanted for a long time. लेकिन फिर मैं MP बन गया, मंत्री बन गया, and I found a way that you can be in the territorial army and you can still be doing a second job. So I was a minister, and I think by then nobody who was in government had actually gone through, because it's not a ceremonial or a honorary position. It's a full commission. You do a written exam, then you do a physical exam, then you go to the SSB. I went to SSB Bangalore. I was stationed there for almost 10, 12 days, and they start selecting people, then you finally get selected, then medical, physical, this, that. And it took me almost 2 years to get my commission. So I'm a fully commissioned officer. But I wanted to do it because it's something that I thought it's not just a legacy issue. It's, I can't explain it to you, but it's the feeling I have when I wear my uniform and I have to do certain commitments are required for me, for my unit. My unit is 124 Sikh. It's a fantastic unit and very tight. So it's a great feeling. It's a different world. It's cut off from what I do in my day job. So it's a good, feeling to have that, and I feel proud. I'll be honest with you.
So when you go to your Paltan, do they treat you with kid gloves or?
No, not at all. I mean, my senior officers and colleagues, yes, we all know each other. But the junior ones, yeah, I mean, but it's Fauj mein kya hai? There's no hierarchy, no protocol. In fact, it's one of the only institutions which is untouched by all this caste and religion and kuch nahi hai. It's just when you're a Fauji, you're a Fauji. And wo feeling jo hai that, I still get goosebumps whenever I do it. It's an absolutely amazing feeling, and I feel of all the things I've done in my life, that's one thing that ranks right at the top.
What are the traits of your dad which you feel that you've got?
I'll tell you what I've not got. What I've got, to pata nahi. People tell me I don't smile enough. My father was very smiling, pleasant face. I'm a bit more serious and I don't laugh as much. I'm trying to improve that, but haven't got very far. But I do, because I was very young when he passed away, right? I was 22.
Yeah.
But I do try and, see from his point of view. And he did tell me that, no matter what happens, if you remain grounded, rooted, humble, ears to the ground, and remain approachable, it'll hold you long. Whether you do a corporate job, become a lawyer, or you become, a politician, it'll hold you in good stead. And you have to be good to people on your way up so that they can be good to you on your way down. So, and where we come from, our roots, our family, unse na, once you become someone or something, very easy to get detached. You get some popularity, some fame, some, So, bahut jaldi na, you don't get time and you don't nurture and nurse, where you actually came from. But that's a strength. No tree becomes very tall if the roots aren't deep.
He was very interested in national security matters. Does that interest you?
Yes. I take a lot of interest, yes.
Yeah, and Kashmir too, because during his time, he was MOS handling home. And during his time, Kashmir was in a tumultuous phase. Did he talk to you at all about those times?
When you're in the house, it's impossible not to pick it up. And when I was getting old, I was in college, and so I was obviously interested. I didn't interfere, but I picked up a lot. Phone conversations, sitting around in the house, talking, and he was very careful not to mix work and family life. But it's, you get a sense of what's going on. So I was interested, and I think he took a keen interest not just in Kashmir, but also in the Northeast. In the 80s, and the Assam Accord happened.
That bomb, why don't you tell us about that? That he flew a bomber, right? When he was in...
He was in the Air Force that time.
Yeah, at that time. That is his connection with the Northeast also.
He was stationed in Assam, in Jorat, for 6-7 years. So he knew Northeast very well. So when he became a politician, he was doing a lot of things behind the scenes to manage situation. Because Northeast, again, is a very sensitive part of our country. So he was well aware of the landscape and the people. So
because at that time, that Assam Accord and all those issues were happening in that period when Rajiv Gandhi was there, and he was in that cabinet. But I can get on to that. I'll show my vintage if I talk too much about that. Finally, one question which I ask all my guests about mental and physical well-being. You lead very stressful lives. What do you do to keep yourself centered?
I don't really do all that much. I think God has been kind to me. I sleep well, and I try and do some exercise a few times a week. And whatever time I do get, I try and spend it with close family and friends, and I've got 2 wonderful boys. I like watching movies and cinema when I get a chance.
Do you switch off your phone at night?
I mean, at night, I do put it off eventually. Eventually, yeah.
But you're not Instagram, Facebook, social media is not your
Today
thing.
you have to be on the social media platforms. It's in some shape or form, which I am, but I'm not obsessed about that.
Do you feel the media lets you down, or the media has been fair to you? Traditional media, social media.
I mean, there are good days and bad days. You have to take it as it comes.
Trolling hurts you?
Not much,
No, you keep yourself aloof from all that.
Well, it's not possible not to get affected, but it shouldn't change you. It's you're a human being. You get upset, you get sad, angry, happy, whatever. वो तो हर एक के साथ होता है. But I don't think it really shakes me from the inside. I see it, ठीक है, because tomorrow's another day, and people change opinions, and अखबार रोज छपते हैं. Podcast आप अगले हफ्ते एक और करोगे, so this will get old. But you try and do the best you can for the day.
You're one of the few, I would say, that who didn't become vindictive or didn't take sides with the media after 2014. This city, Delhi, got divided on very sharp lines post 2014. But you have remained, I think, indifferent to that, and you're pretty agnostic when it comes to the media, I feel.
I don't think I've made an attempt to be that way, but if someone or something is against you today, by shutting off and by distancing further, you'll make it worse, right? Because things change. 6 months later, change of heart, change of times, change of scenery may bring things back.
Talk about the India Alliance, which has a hit list, the journalists that they have boycotted, and they went open about it. In the past, there have been boycotts, but nobody went open.
But also, some people have actually made it very personal. And when you're a public figure on national platforms to personally attack and using language that is inappropriate, that also gets.
Do you agree
beyond
with
the
the boycott?
Well, I think collectively they decided to take action and to do a pushback. It was a decision taken back in the day. I was not part of that decision, but I do understand the sentiments. If you really are agenda बना के रोज ही आप गाली दोगे and consistent एक बार दो बार चलता है, but becomes a routine, then it gets a little difficult to swallow, I guess, for some people.
Has the India Alliance vaporized, and is it a postponed?
Vaporized? आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? मैंने आपको शुरू में कहा, India Alliance will get the requisite numbers on June 4th, and our alliance in UP, Bihar, Maharashtra will change the entire
It
number
works
game.
in some states, but like in Adhir Ranjan turned around and said that no, if it's a choice, don't vote go with the BJP. Don't vote.
An odd statement, and everyone, TMC has also said many things.
Yeah, they've also.
But ultimately, she's part of India Alliance, na? We may not be in coalition.
Post-election scenario, hai na?
I mean, like I said, look at Punjab, for example. We don't have an alliance there.
Yeah.
But of the 12, 13 MPs who will fight and win.
You're opposing each other. Forget about
Yes, so
not having
what I'm saying is that idea is to have a numerical strength on June 4th. And I think we'll achieve that. Despite, हर state में थोड़ा बहुत give and take नहीं हो पाता है. There are local issues, there are political issues, there are personality issues. So despite that, the numbers will end up being what they should be on June 4th. That's what I'm saying.
So on June 4th, if it's an India Alliance coalition, the BJP, Amit Shah has said recently there'll be one Prime Minister per year for 5 years. Is that?
अब वो तो भाषण की बात है. We all know that doesn't work like that. So
नहीं, but it happened in history. Gowda ji ho gaye, फिर गुजराल जी हो गए. Everybody was like
that
few
was a
months,
Monday,
1
Tuesday.
year.
There was a new government. नहीं, but this, I think 272 is the number required.
Correct.
The India Alliance members, all of us collectively, we get that and more. And there should be hopefully a smooth transition. And who will get what position, that call we'll take once the results are out.
कौन बनेगा
ये
प्रधानमंत्री?
पहले निर्णय ले लिया हम लोगों ने. हम बैठेंगे, 4 जून के बाद बैठ जाएंगे, जिसको जो पद मिलना है हम उसको पद दे देंगे. Nobody is running after a post today. It's a much bigger issue than becoming.
जिसने पद मांगा उसको पद दे
मतलब
दिया.
बैठ के भी consensual, right? सब बैठ के बात करेंगे. It's not that hard.
पर सीट पे भी तो agreement hardly हुआ है.
Seats are different because you are going to polls. You have a political fief area. आपको उसको छोड़ना बड़ा मुश्किल हो
तो
जाता है.
जितनी आबादी उतना हक, मतलब जितने नंबर आए उतने portfolios.
I mean, in a democracy, numbers matter the most, right? But what will happen
काबिलियत भी तो
post-election?
कोई चीज होती है.
अब वो तो समय बताता है ना. You can't prejudge anybody. अब मैं और आप क्या क्या कर सकते हैं ये आज हम कैसे पता. 10 साल के बाद आप पता नहीं क्या हासिल कर सकते
आपको
हो.
INB देना चाहिए. एक सेंटेंस नहीं आप इधर से उधर बताते.
मैं 1 घंटे से आप जो पूछ रहे हैं हर जवाब दे रहा हूँ मैं सवाल का. मैंने कहाँ आपको मना
वेरी
किया
वेरी
है?
पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट. ओ सो
नहीं तो आपने कहा काबिलियत तो आप मौका देके देखिए पता पड़ेगा. आज आप you're doing this.
Which one would you like to take? You've done corporate affairs before, right?
Right.
So which one would you like to have?
Like to what?
Which portfolio would you like to? In an imaginary situation.
you're now going beyond the realm of speculation.
Okay.
I'm saying let us get first majority, and then all of our partners will sit down together and figure out who's to lead and who will get what positions. There are many parties, almost 24 parties हैं. अच्छे number आएंगे and we'll be able to decide all that. I think that's not an issue for anybody. Idea is first to have a good campaign and make sure we get across the majority mark.
So I just got back from Telangana and वहाँ पे तो everybody is saying that बस अगर election का result थोड़ा सा भी इधर उधर हो जाएगा तो कांग्रेस में काफ़ी सारे लोग हैं. अब if I want to take names I can, but काफ़ी सारे लोग हैं जो immediately shift कर जाएंगे, बस wait कर रहे हैं कि and then there'll be Operation Kaman in many states. Many states मतलब कितने हैं? They hardly have where they're not in power. That will happen. So are you one of those?
जो दल आज कह रहा है कि हम 400 पार जाएंगे,
उनको ज़रूरत नहीं.
नहीं वो फिर विपक्ष के लोगों को तोड़ क्यों रहे हैं? और इतने काबिलियत वाले नेता बैठे हैं जीतने वाले कैंडिडेट्स उनके पास. Why do they need Congress candidates or somebody else?
वो तो कह रहे खुद आ रहे हैं सारे के सारे.
तो मत लीजिए ना, आप नैतिकता दिखाओ कि हम बहुत शक्तिशाली हैं, हमें आप चाहिए नहीं.
That's be unfair ना.
Why
कोई
unfair?
आना चाहता है आपके टेंट के अंदर तो
ले लो. टिकट क्यों दे रहे हो फिर आप उनको? आपके खुद के इतने अच्छे उम्मीदवार हैं, शानदार बेहतरीन क्रेडिबल उम्मीदवार हैं आपके पास, जो वॉशिंग मशीन में होके नहीं आए हैं, उनको आप टिकट दे रहे हो. अब हरियाणा में हम लोग 10 सीटें हैं, जो 6 बीजेपी के टिकट हैं, दे ऑल एक्स कांग्रेस में.
तो वॉशिंग मशीन का मतलब है दैट लाइक ही सेड दैट यू आर एडमिटिंग कि आपके लोग मैले कपड़े वाले हैं.
नहीं, आपने एलिगेशन लगाया कि मैला है, हमने तो नहीं कहा. आप एलिगेशन लगाते हो, आप ही धोते हो, आप ही साफ करके ले लेते हो, ये तो गलत बात है ना. कोर्ट से कोई बोल दे, कचहरी बोल दे, नो प्रॉब्लम. आपने एक रेड नोटिस छापा डाला, बदनाम कर दिया, कीचड़ उछाल दिया, फिर आओ धो बैठो, गंगा जल छिड़क दो, सब साफ हो गया.
How many do you think the BJP will get? Where do you think they'll stop?
Why should I talk about them? मैं तो अपनी बात करूंगा ना. हम लोग अपना बताते हैं आपको. 272 चाहिए सरकार बनाने के लिए, उतना इंडिया अलायंस के नंबर्स आएंगे हमारे पास. एंड बीजेपी का जो ये भाषण है 300, 400, 500, बहुत दूर तक कामयाब नहीं होंगे.
तो Shashi Tharoor is saying they won't even reach, I think 210 or something like that. He said कि
I don't go into specific predictions, but I can say that this all ये जो भाषण है, this is all political rhetoric. It is not rooted in reality. And I think more than me, the BJP also realizes that. ऐसा नहीं है, तभी तो वो भाषण अब बदल गए ना. पहले तो अलग तरह के भाषण थे, अब भाषण बिल्कुल कांग्रेस आ जाएगी तो ये हो जाएगा, कांग्रेस आ जाएगी तो वो हो जाएगा, मंगलसूत्र, भैंस, मकान छीन लेंगे, धर्म के आधार पर आरक्षण हो जाएगा. बेबुनियाद, कहीं एक कोरा कागज शब्द लिखा नहीं हम लोगों ने कभी ऐसा, उसको बना के कहे जा रहे हो. बट आई थिंक पीपल सी दैट बिकॉज द नैरेटिव, द स्पीचेस, द वर्ड, द भाषण, इट्स ऑल चेंज नाउ. It's not what it was a month ago. That it tells you there's a palpable sense amongst even the ruling dispensation that people are yearning for a change.
It's 3 more weeks, so it's going to get more and more heated because to keep things going, keep interest alive of the media, of the people is extremely difficult in these times where everybody's like couple of seconds before they start going into Instagram and Facebook. So all the best. Thank you so much for coming and being part of the podcast. Thank you. Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the ANI podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.